Is the logo transparent?
It should be good now. Are you able to move?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. My name is Noe from Righty Fighters. We are going to be breaking down Haohmaru tonight with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Florida Man. What's going on, Florida Man?
Hello.
How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I having a lot of fun. Just been labbing earlier, so I had some coffee. I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. All right. We're going to get the episode going. Definitely appreciate you spending your Friday night here with us. And everybody, welcome to the stream. All right, so let's go ahead and get started off with Haohmaru and oh, I can't do R102. That's me. I'm sorry. I'm used to reset. There you go, my reset. So let's say it's a tournament or a rank set. You don't know, like, the player. You really don't know the situation. Besides generally, like, maybe creating space, what are your favorite moves they like to do?
Yeah. So if I had to go over like 4 moves, and you had to like win with like 4 moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first move would be 6B. Okay, this is a I-16 vertical mid. It's reverse ledge safe. It's like a medium heavy attack.
Okay.
It's -8 on block, but the block stun is actually like really short. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have any pushback. Like, it has a very minute pushback on block. So you see, you only move like half a footstep away, right?
Right.
So it's really good for spacing. It has like a lot of range. So like right around here, it'll work. And the move is 0 on normal hit. No. It's +8 on counter hit. Okay. Mm-hmm. But the main reasons being why this move is good is because it is a I-16 long-reaching vertical mid that has more priority than other moves, and it has a mix-up should you choose to use it. But it applies to his general game plan of like good spacing. The other move that I would probably suggest, this is probably not even a surprise for anyone, is 2-2A. It's an 8-run move, and if no one has watched Scallywag 93's video about 8-run buffering, you should look that up. But basically, you just like from any input, if you're like walking, you just roll it. Okay, so if I want to do 8-run buffer 2-2A, I'd hold 6 and then roll a 2 and do 2-2A. That's really important to note. So I just want everyone has to know that because this move is like really universally used. It is a I-16 before you add sidestep frames, horizontal high. It has string attachment with 2-2AA, 2-2AB. 2-2AA is -16 on block. The string is like,
oh wow, you're right.
Yeah, it's -16, but you can't like sidestep here, right? So if you go to sidestep, you get run countered, okay? And if you get run countered by the very first hit, which is like the really important part, right?
Right.
If you get run countered, I'm now +4 on hit on a low, okay? On a really good low, okay?
Yeah.
Not everyone has really good I-16 punishment from crouch, so like if you're Cervantes and you don't have, you know, a bar,
I'm not getting much.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Exactly. Right. So that's really good.
That's
all right.
It's really good.
So this is really good for like when you run up to your opponent and like they don't want to get like mixed up or like they don't want to deal with like 6-6B, which I'll go over next. You know, they go to sidestep, right? And then you catch their sidestep, and you can do 2-2AA, or you can do 2-2AB. 2-2AB is the vertical mid part of the string. It's -14 on block, so. Again, you get whatever your character specific punishment is.
Right.
And then if you run counter again, the full string is guaranteed.
Oh wow.
And you can get like that right there. That's usually what I will end with.
But
there,
wow.
Yeah, that's free. So if I do 2-2AB, there's all sorts of different follow-ups. But generally speaking, this is the main one that you'll see when you're not in soul charge. When you do that heavy slash, you get O-key. You know, so you just walk forward, do a low, you know, do a mid, like whatever you want to do here. Do a throw. Like his O-key is really simple, just low mid throw. That's all there is to it. And 2-2AB does all that, and then has another string extension. So like they trying to guess, you know, on 2-2A between the mid, the low. You don't even have to do it. You get in for free. You kill their movement. You can zone with it by 8-run buffering it from backstep, and it advances forward. So it has more range. You sidestep with them close range. They go to sidestep. You run counter them. It does so much for horizontal. And then you have this. which is like really sneaky, right?
Right.
So like, let's say you're really well trained on how to deal with like this, right? Because every time you see this move, you go to reverse ledge of GI the second hit, right? So go ahead and do GI. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. Now you get hit by the mix up. So the mix up being 2-2-A-6, it'll go in a warrior's focus. This isn't necessarily like anything that you'll be using commonly, okay? But it's for when they're trying to deal with the string itself,
right?
Which you don't have to complete. But if their way of dealing with it includes a GI or something, then you can use 2-2-A-6 to open them up, and do like something like this or something.
Also,
you know, and
then you could just sidestep and just punish the RE. Okay, that's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much loaded in this one move. It's probably like his first or second best move. Third move, outside of 6B and 2-2-A is 6-6B. 6-6B is an I-18 vertical mid with medium priority, so it's like a medium attack. It's not a heavy attack. The other thing about this move is integral to the character's design. So Haohmaru is like a Samurai Showdown guest character. He's a 2D character, right? So every other character in the game, like Cervantes, for example, if you do like a Wall Rising B hold, right? You go into Dread Charge, right?
Right.
So you get to do stuff on whiff, on block, on hit, whatever. Haohmaru is not like that because he has a mechanic called Ronin Cancel. So on Ronin Cancel, I get to do things on hit or guard, like a 2D character, like Ken, right? I can do like low forward super or something, for example. So Haohmaru is similar. You get 6-6B, which is a pseudo plus on block vertical mid. Because if I do this, there's things that are going to follow afterwards, and you like the only defense you have against it is to GI, right? So go to step here. Can't step it, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's
none of this is steppable. The verticals
it's jailing
are. Yeah, it's so plus that you can't do anything about it, right? So with this move, you can use it for keep out, right? So I just do that. Now I'm +6, and you can't approach me. You know what I mean? You can't mash here.
No, you're right.
You get counter hit. You know what I mean? You can't sidestep.
So I can make hard reads only. That's it.
Yeah, you can only make a hard read or choose to GI or just block because it's not that scary if you just block. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But the main thing being that this move is loaded with all sorts of utility. So if you whiff a move, for example, and I need to kill you, right?
Right.
I'll just do this. You know, I can do it into CE, it combos. I can do this, you know, for like a 45 damage punish. I can do this for Oki. You know what I mean? I can do this for also Oki or a ring out. I can do it for, you know, a wall combo, albeit a very bad one. You know, that normally works, but we're on Parsec, so.
Right. So be a little laggy, yeah.
Yeah, so it's loaded all sorts of stuff. With punishment, mix up maybe if you feel like, you know, doing strings and stuff. And keep out being the big one because this is unsteppable, right? And it's good on hit. It's good on hit and block. So even though I'm like -8 here, like look at the range in which you get pushed back.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Can't retaliate. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't do anything here. So like I pushed you out, and that'd be like his third best button, right? It works after his throw, you know. So you can do this, and that's a combo. You can do that into CE and combos. It's really like loaded move because of his Ronin Cancel mechanic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that brings us to our fourth best move, and it's not a move. It's this shit right here. His backstep is the most important part of his kit, okay? Because it's not a move, it's just a choice that you make, and it's the best one in the game. So this is the best backstep in the game. It will make things whiff where other characters cannot. It will create spacing where other characters cannot, and make it overall a more complete zoning and spacing game plan for like long mid-range gameplay, where the characters have to either get in on you, or they have to establish that they have some way of keeping you in check so you can, you know, space them out.
I'm just curious. So you guys said something interesting. Why do you feel it's the best backstep in the game? Because other characters...
Because it literally is. It literally is. Like, no other backstep moves this far.
Off a backstep cancel?
No, not even backstep cancel. You just mash 4. You don't even have to do that, but you can backstep cancel if you feel like it. and for like safety and stuff. But like when you do this, it just moves faster than everyone else's. I've proven this with testing. So
okay.
But yeah, it moves the farthest in the initial movement part, right? And then it moves the fastest when you mash 4. So like if you need to create spacing and need to get out of some situation, you just can. So like let me think. I'm gonna pick Amy for you just so I can show you something really, really quickly.
Okay.
But this is just for an example, okay? So like his backstep is so good that it's not my controls, so I have to set it to you really quick. There we go. All right, go ahead and go in Soul Charge. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna do 6B like right here, right? Now Amy has horizontal low in her 4A. It's pretty decent range. It's I-16. It should catch characters, right? When she's +8, right? So go ahead and go in Soul Charge, and then I just want you to mash 4A. Like just mash it when I make it do a move on block, okay?
Okay. Well, yeah, you're already out of range, but that's really good though.
Yeah, it puts me like at a range where I can get out of like basically everything with my spacing. So like the important part being, if you do the full string right here, I'm gonna get out of it, right? Normally characters like they can't do this. You know what I mean? And get out of a full string. They can only backstep part of it, and they have to eventually block, right? But with Haohmaru, I can just backstep the entire string, even after the first hit whiffs. So that's the important part that you have to remember. Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to demonstrate like on parsec and stuff, but like if there's something that you think you can't backstep, you can definitely backstep it, and you create all the opportunities for whiff punishment, for zoning, like literally just by hitting the 4 button. It's so integral to his game plan.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have any other favorite moves you wanted to go over?
Those are like the 3 main ones, like 6B, 66B, 22A. There's other good moves, but they just kind of add like the complete his kit, right? So there's 2B. 2B is like 66B, except it's less plus on block, because running cancels have different frames on block. So with 66B, you can't sidestep, but this one you can. You're gonna want to sidestep the other way.
Oh, the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you can sidestep the vertical here, right? But it's still plus on block.
Yeah, it's a big risk. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, there's 2B. This is an I-14 vertical special mid. You can use it for block punishment. So if you do like a wall raising A, for example, you know, I-14 knockdown, 30 damage, and that's gonna happen like every time you're -14. Okay. Because his I-16 blocks punishment isn't as good.
Right.
There you go. There's I-16. Then there's my other I-16 right here. So it doesn't really fare very well.
Right.
So once we move past I-16, we get the I-18 block punishment, and that being 66B, which is a move I already talked about.
What do you like about his like playstyle? Like, because he's pretty different than Mitsurugi. Like, he's like night and day. What do you like about his playstyle?
The thing I like about Haohmaru is he's more like movement oriented, and he has like really far range. You know what I mean?
Right.
He allows you to establish the pace of the match a little bit better because you have both the frames, the movement, and the frames movement. I just like slipped my tongue real quick.
It's cool.
You have the frames movement, and then you have like the moves to establish the frames.
Okay.
Like, so if I do this, can't move. I'm +6, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that move is the I-18 horizontal high with amazing counter properties.
You know, so eat it first. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, eat it and then sidestep.
Oh, that clash with my A, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm +6.
Nice.
So just go to sidestep though.
Okay.
So yeah, the stuff like that happens, right? So his movement control is really good. and I always have the frames to control your movement when I hit you. So I establish the pacing, unless you have like an I-10 or something, right? So I can establish the pacing both with my buttons and with my movement because you can't touch me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're essentially playing into my game plan, and it's not hard to set up at all. Because like the other reason I really like Haohmaru is he's incredibly simple. Like none of this stuff is hard at all. You know what I mean? You go through his move list. You learn like, your I-12, your I-14, I-16, and I-18 block punishment, and you're good to go because you just like this is all really intuitive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just being able to zone people out or establish like a mid-range neutral game and poke and play footsies because he's the Sam Show character. They're designed to be very simple characters that don't require you to have like a whole lot of technical execution, but a good awareness of just the neutral game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and he can establish all that very easily. So and not in a complicated way where it's like I'm Cervantes, so I do 2A, don't move, or while raising AU. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I hit you 6B, dude. Don't fucking move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we pretty much, I think you actually covered already. Not only opening moves, but it looks like you have some good step killers in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
2A, 3A, 63A. There's 3 moves right there.
All right. So, let's see. What do you like for as far as whiff punishers?
For a whiff punishment, again, we go back to our main 3 moves. That's how simple this character is.
Okay.
And we go to 6-6B, right? So 6-6B is really important because when you have this move, it changes depending on your life level. But generally speaking, when you need to confirm the whiff punish, you go for this, right? And then you get your 45 damage and your plus 6. Or no, plus 8 on hit. Yeah, this is plus 8 now on hit. So you get frame advantage, you get 45 damage, you're in their face, if that's a situation you want. If you want a situation where you get a knockdown on your whiff punish, you just do this, and you can go for Oki. If you want to keep them out with your whiff punish, you do this, and you backstep. Or you control their movement, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you want to kill them with your whiff punish, you do this. And again, as you can see, I did an 8-way run buffer technique, so I could do it from sidestep. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do like something like this, and then roll the input. I get my whiff punish. I do 84 damage, which is above the guts threshold. So 6-6B is really loaded with all that whiff punishment, and then it gets better when you have rage. So with rage, I get an extension on my DP, right? So my DP, if you want to input it from 6-6B, you just hit the button again. Now I have a 63 damage whiff punish or a 67 damage whiff punish with Oki. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nice.
And this is safe on block. This is only -6.
Wow.
It doesn't jail, so you can GI the second hit, but it's really hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can GI the initial hit, but you're taking a risk, right? So you want to GI the second one.
The third one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is hard. You're right. That's tight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tricky.
So that would be what you want to do. But if you're going to GI the initial hit, like counterplay, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I can literally cancel into my A+B. So yeah, his 6-6B is loaded with all the things that you need from it. If I'm in Soul Charge, it's a good whiff punisher because I can do this. Trying to do it on Parsec's kind of hard. Yeah, so I get 2 heavy slashes, 82 damage. Yeah, so you see how good the move is now, right?
It's really good. Yeah, it's nice.
It's just loaded with all these options. But if they whiff really, really, really big, you can do heavy slash, which is again Sam Show shit. So like if you whiff like Cervantes 3-3B, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice vertical. There you go,
Ooh.
70 damage on my whiff punish, right?
Nice.
And then when I'm in rage, it also goes up even higher to 86. And then when I'm in rage explosion, it goes even higher to 100. So yeah, if you get a really, really big whiff, just do that shit. Because it's really good, okay?
Right.
So 6-6B and heavy slash are going to be like your main whiff punishers. You can 3B, you know what I mean? But like the damage you get and the stuff you get off of it is not as good as if you were to just use 6-6B. Because Haohmaru, unlike Soul Calibur characters, is not focused around combos, but just around the neutral and the moves that you're using.
Right.
You don't have to do combos all the time.
That's pretty good. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. You not really confident on his. Well, not confident. Let me use the wrong vocabulary. You're not a fan of his wall game, are you?
No. It's one combo. So basically, the reason being is that Haohmaru's movement, and like how I talked about, like all his moves are really good in the mid range, establishing spacing and zoning, right? All that stuff is really good.
Right.
It doesn't matter by the wall because his wall damage is abysmal. So if I do this, you see the damage. It's really bad. You know what I mean? The most damage you can get on the wall is this right here. That is the optimal wall combo that you're gonna just want to use every single time, no matter what, because nothing else does more damage than that combo right there. That's his wall game in a nutshell. Otherwise, his wall game is slightly better when it comes to ring outs. So like right here, if this was like an unbreakable low wall, right? I would just do this. If it wants to work today. So yeah, I hit you into the low wall, and then I combo into 2B.
That's really nice.
2B, 2A plus B, and you get rung out over a low wall. Other things having to do with low walls is that this rings out over low walls.
Oh, that's simple.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So it's very simple. You know, he just all the moves that are good, like 2B, 2A plus B, 6-6BB, 6-6B in this move, they just ring out over the low wall, and that's really handy, and it's not hard to do at all. It's really simple.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So another, I feel, interesting question too. Where do you think people struggle when you see people using Haohmaru? Where do you think they're struggling?
Like playing him or playing against him?
Playing as him.
A lot of places people struggle when they're playing Haohmaru is they don't know his frame data yet, so they misinterpret like a lot of the things that you would do with him, and they'll do something like this. Like you'll see new Haohmaru players do this all the time. This right here.
I see that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not good. This on block is completely fake. Okay, so on block you just 2A me every time. Yeah. I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? I just get counter hit by your 2A.
Because you're committed to the step. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm committed to the stance. And usually it just comes because I misinput it, right? Like you see, I'm holding 6B and 6. I go into stance.
Right.
In a recent patch, they changed it so you don't have to do that anymore. So if you're like holding 6 here, you automatically go into stance. But if you hold 6BG, you never go into stance.
Oh.
I'm still holding forward. I have not let go of forward, but I'm not going into stance. So if you don't want to have to commit to going into this warrior focus,
that's a nice
because you can definitely overuse warrior focus. You don't have to. Like this move is not good because of warrior focus. Like the warrior focus transition is good. You know, for example, I'll just go over that like really, really briefly. So if you're holding 4 right here, right?
Right.
So just go ahead and hold 4. This is plus 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so on counter hit plus 16, I-18 mix up that you have to GI if you want to get out of it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then if you GI, for example, it's delayable, right? So that's really nice. But that's not why this move is good. This is a good poke that you just want to use. You don't want to use the stance too much because it's not as good as the other stance transitions. So a lot of new players struggle with using 6B properly. You want to use it as a spacing, a poke, as a mid that like catches people ducking sometimes. You know what I mean? You want to use it to catch the reversal edge because it's reversal edge safe. It's like 100% reversal edge safe.
Wow, yeah, you're right. That's nice. That's nasty.
Yeah. And yeah, it's loaded for that reason. You know what I mean? Another place that Haohmaru players struggle is that they want to do this right here. They want to be in your face. You know what I mean? And like hit buttons and be like, "Yo, I'm so tight, bro. You know, I'm cool. I play this 2D character." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't do that at all. You don't want to be there ever. His up close brawling game is all designed to get out. Okay, that is danger zone. This is not a close range character. His AA is I-14. You know what I mean? He struggles up close. Like, if you want to like use a BB, it's I-16. You know what I mean? Like, you're so much slower than everybody else because he's a power Shoto character. He's very versatile. He has a lot of tools, but they're only good if you can apply spacing to them, and if you can like not play up close and brawl the other character. You want to get them out. So all these tools that are like, okay, like up close that you can use them, like AA for example, right?
And that's 14 frames your AA, isn't it?
Yeah, 14 frames.
That's slow, yeah.
14 frames, right? Look at the pushback on hit, or even on block, for example. Like it just keeps you out. That's
nice.
the idea. You want to get the spacing. You know what I mean?
So people, you feel are playing him at the wrong range when you see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do this and they play at the wrong range because they don't understand that he's actually just incredibly slow. And if you're going to play in close range and establish anything, you have to use his fastest moves. You can't be like, you know what? I feel like using like 3A when I'm dead close. This is I-18, dude. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right. That's slow.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's not a traditional. I'm glad you're saying that. So he doesn't feel like, or he doesn't seem like a traditional Soul Calibur character of, I have a good low, an AA, and a BB, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like that at all. He's a Shoto character. You keep them out, and you have versatile tools, but not tools that are good up close.
Okay, good. Let's see here. What are some? Maybe go over a couple things where you found like people say, "Oh yeah, that's Floor Man. That's something he does with Haohmaru." Like some good tech that you found.
Good tech.
Or maybe, you know what, it doesn't have to be tech, maybe like a setup, something you'd like to do?
Yeah. Something that I sometimes do to people is like, I'll be dead range close, and they're like, they respect me a lot because like my throw game is terrifying, right? Like
it is, yeah.
When I guess that is a Florida man. When I play against people, I throw the fuck out of them, okay?
Yeah,
because this is scary. Like all this stuff is just like really scary. I'm so blessed that like you can't deal with me, and so they get really scared, right? So I might like do other stuff, you know what I mean? To like they're respecting me, you know, I keep them out. But main thing being that when you are close enough with them, you can do this. It's kind of hard to do. I hope I can do it on Parsec.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's guaranteed off of throws. I don't show a lot of people that.
That's really nice. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but I think if there's anything that I did that's kind of fake that people don't do, is I do this to people. That's probably the Florida man.
That's filthy.
Yeah,
that is fake.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's fake. You can duck it, but then you're just ducking into a mix-up. Then again, you're using a throw to establish a mix-up.
That's really
when
nice.
the throw is a mix-up tool, so it's not actually that good. If anything, what I've been labbing in the stuff that I've gone over with players like Lolo, that I haven't seen other Haohmaru players do yet, is I get a lot of Oki mileage. So like something like this knockdown right here. This happens so often, and people don't know what to do yet. So if you were to roll here,
go ahead.
This will catch your roll. If you keep rolling, it keeps catching your roll. You know what I mean? And this is a I-20 low. Yeah, it's an I-20 low that's minus 12 on block. Okay, and it does 20 damage. And the really godlike part about this is 0-1 hit. Okay. And it hits grounded. So like if you get hit by this and like you're like, oh fuck, he just hit me with this low, right? He must be minus on hit, right? You're gonna 2A, right?
Right.
No, you're not.
That's nice. I like that.
So he controls the +0 very well because this jumps at frame 12, and it even jumps mids. And this move jumps even quicker at like frame 6 or something, frame 8, but also jumps mids. So you can control the +0 very well, even on your own Oki. You know what I mean? Right. So like I do a throw, I get Oki, I do a low. Even if you block it, that's fine. I'm only minus 12. Because if you go to duck here, you take even more fucking damage.
Absolutely,
okay?
Yeah.
So if I do this to you, for example, right? You go to duck, you get heavy slash. And that's also really satisfying. You know what I mean? So this is a little different. This is -6 on hit. Not a lot of people know that right now, but it's -6 on hit. But it does 50 damage, okay? And it adds up to my stack lethal hit, like on that one and on that one, right? So like 3 for this one, and then 5 for this one. One being Warriors Focus BA, the stance mix-up move, and then one being a I-16 vertical mid punish tool that you can cancel into. So I can do something like this. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's really nice.
Which is really important. So the other thing being, if you block this move, right?
All right.
So, yeah, it's important to note. So go ahead and block. Haohmaru being Sam Show guest character, when he does a heaviest slash on block, he is -4 in the Ronin cancel, or in Soul Calibur terms, he's -14. So even if you block this, I'm in a reverse mix-up, okay? So I can guess on your tool, and like do this, and lethal hit you. I can do this and duck your high. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of stuff. So again, it's even risky for you to swing into something, but you still have to guess on my Oki.
For sure.
So like the risk is a little bit lower. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this also hits grounded. So like if I get this knockdown right here, you're not rolling this at all. Like you're just gonna get hit. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
And so I just like as a player like me, I just keep my Oki airtight all the time with Haohmaru, and they can't roll me. They have to guess. They have to wake up and guess. They can't GI there. They can't soul charge nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about? And I didn't ask you this before the interview. Well, I had it written down, but what about does he have a ring out game?
It's okay. I'll show you. Basically, it's like this one. That'll go to the right, and then this one will go to the left.
Oh.
And that's off of 3B. So like with 3B, you'll do 623A for left ring out and 4K for right ring out. If you want to ring out straight forward or over a low wall, you'll just use 2A plus B after 3B. It actually goes like really far, a lot farther than you think. And then the other important aspect being that you can ring people out if you throw them. Okay.
Right. I was gonna say that's where the mix-up's going. Okay.
Yeah, this is where the mix-ups are, right? So like we're right here, right? Let's say I just hit you with this move.
Right.
I'm +8, right? You can't even 2A me right here, right? And if I throw you, you go out of the ring, right?
Crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's say you duck the throw, right?
You're gonna get popped. Yeah.
Out of the ring. You know what I mean? So you just like when it comes to ringing people out, but their back is to the ring edge, there's an actual scary amount of pressure. Should you choose to like try and commit to ducking a throw, or not breaking a front throw, right? And that adds to his like really incredible throw game. Like he has probably like one of the best throw games in the entire game. Because like right here, like you don't want to get wrung out, but you're about to die, right?
Right.
You have 30 life. You don't want to get wrung out by me throwing you, but anything can kill you. Okay? So I just do this, I back throw you. You're like almost dead anyways. So
Oof, man.
yeah, it's really good for like the mix-up aspect. And then he can reverse ring you out off of a back throw too. So if you don't break back right here,
Go ahead, do it again.
yep. If you don't break back, you go out. And that works on a low wall too. You know what I mean?
That's really nice.
Yeah. So I'll just change the position reset.
Okay, all right. So how long have you been playing Haohmaru, since day one, or?
Yeah, since day one.
And I think I kind of skipped the part a little bit where I shouldn't have. It was my fault. So
good.
we have some time because Haohmaru is like, I guess his game plan's kind of more limited.
It's really
than I
simple.
thought. Yeah, so that's my fault underestimating that. Tell people about you as a player. Like I kind of want people to know that. Like I know a lot of you guys. I know of you guys anyway. But let's say people that are not really familiar with the tournament scene, or they don't interact with the community a lot like they'd like to. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, so my name is Jesse. My tag is Florida Man. I'm from. This might surprise a lot of people who don't know already, but a lot of people already know. I'm from Washington State, so I'm a West Coast player, and I'm like one of like maybe like 12 players up here. There's not a lot of people up here. I've been playing the game since release. I've been really passionate about Soul Calibur. I really love the series, and I'm sponsored by Faustian Esports, which is a homebrew sponsor that came up from when we were in season 1, and we were all just doing labbing sessions. You know what I mean? Like trying to get better at the game.
Right.
And eventually we were like, well, we all want to be good, so let's just create a sponsor and work together to like go to events and do stuff. So we're a really pretty tight knit group. You can see us at FaustianEsports.com if you choose to. There's like links in there, news and stuff, which I'll include this guide in. But other than that, as a player, for me myself, if the character can't do this and do 70 damage in like one hit, or like just like do a lot of damage, it's probably not for me. Thankfully, a lot of the characters in this game do dumb damage. So, yeah, Haohmaru is like one of my favorite characters because he just does so much damage and he's just so cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's pretty cool looking. He really is. I didn't really know a lot about him.
Yeah, we haven't even gone over like this yet, but he's just really cool. Like, there's so many cool things about this character, and like how versatile he is, and how like you don't have to do combos. You know what I mean? Like with like Cervantes, like if you can't do your bread and butter 3B combo,
if you can't do this, then don't bother.
You're not a fucking Cervantes player.
It's true,
right?
It's true.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like, you might like win a little bit, but like if you can't do that, you're missing an entire aspect of your character.
Absolutely.
Haohmaru, all you gotta do is this if you feel like it, and you don't even have to do that, right? I can just hit 2A plus B. I don't have to do a DP motion, right? So he's really simple, and because he's so simple and he has like good reward and good tools, I never feel stressed out, or I have to worry about like half of his kit. And so me as a person, having less load on my mental stack is really nice, because I just play a really simple character, and I enjoy playing a really simple character, and that's just the kind of guy I am.
No, that's good, man. I'm glad you're showing people like Haohmaru. Maybe they overcomplicate him. Maybe doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. So that's really cool.
It's not complicated at all. Just look at his frame data and hit some buttons.
I like the simplicity, man. It's very cool. So show us his. Do you like his soul charge, his rage? Like, let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll work on the meter right now. So for meter usage, we'll talk about his CE first. On his CE, it is I-20. It is probably really bad if you're just using it like this, because it doesn't do a whole lot.
Right.
The 79. It's better when you do it from 60B. Okay. Because if you do this and you try to whiff punish with it, it has like your Cervantes, right? You can whiff punish me from right here with your CE.
Right.
Okay.
Mine's great. Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah. Poor Haohmaru.
Yeah. It's no rage.
Yeah.
So you don't use it like that, especially because you don't want it to whiff, and you don't want it to get blocked, because it's like minus like 22, 24 block. Okay. So the way that you're supposed to use it is you're supposed to use it from cancel moves.
Okay.
There's only 2 cancel moves that combo into it on normal hit, and that would be A slide B. It's a little hard to do. Yeah, that one right there. So that'll do like a decent amount of damage, Let's let this play out. I think it's like 68. Yeah, 68 damage. And then 66B CE will do 84, which you already seen the animation, whatever. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, so one's I-14. If you can master this is an I-14 68 damage punish in the CE. In the very very classic 2D fashion. Right. This is like Ken low forward super or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then this is an I-18 in the super. Both of which you can do off of throws. Right?
Right.
That's pretty simple, okay? So I don't think we need to cover the CE anymore. There is a just frame on it if you can do it. But that's hard to apply in an actual match, and usually just for flashiness. Now we're going to talk about
it's really like style points more than anything.
Yeah, this style points.
Huh. That's funny. I never seen that before. That's funny.
Yeah, if you can do this, it's max damage, but like it's just it's not worth messing it up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Over like actually just doing stuff that's optimal.
So you wouldn't recommend doing that in the tournament ever?
Only if you really want to flex, and if you really want to flex and you're willing to drop the whole round.
Damn. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I've only done it once in a tournament, and that was yesterday.
That's tight. That's really cool.
Yeah. But that's one aspect of his meter usage. The other aspect being his soul attack. In patch 1, his soul attack would carry you to the edge, bring you out. You could get a lethal hit if you chose the GI. And he did this. You know what I mean? You get lethal hit. It has been nerfed since then, but it's still good. Okay? So, I'm not going to go over the just frame version of it, but basically, it's I-16 like everyone else's, but you can cancel off of it and do that combo right there. Okay? and that gives me 2 heavy slashes, and it does 70 damage at I-16, making it his best I-16 punish, and it also leaves you in soul charge, right?
Okay.
So if I do this right here, and I don't need a heavy slashes, for example, I can get Oki off of it. If I can do it, basically I'm just going to be doing like this move right here, and then I'll do that move, and then I'll walk forward, track the Yukemi roll. I can hit grounded.
Wow, 81 with Yukemi. That's nice.
Yep, and then we just go back into the same Oki that I talked about earlier, where it's like this move and then like this move and this move, you know what I mean, and throws and stuff. Yeah, just all like couples together, right? The other thing about his soul attack being that if you finish the whole string and the whole string hits them, it does like 50 damage or like 45 or something. It's on the weaker end, but it puts him in rage, okay?
Oh, that's cool.
And it doesn't matter where I am in life total. It just always puts me in rage, which is important. Rage has a couple aspects to it, being that, you know, we talked about this move and this one, and then we talked about the heavy slash, right?
Right.
But he gets 2 more things off of it. He gets this CE right here, which you can input with 236 B plus K. It does 30% guard damage on hit, and it does 78 damage at I-14, okay? But if you want the easy input that you don't have to stress out about, you just hit 6 in CE and it does it. This thing's fucking like minus 24 on block, so never have them block this. But it's also really good because, like, for example, if I'm like right here, right, and you're trying to kill me with a 2K, oh my god, it's I-14, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be able to block punish your 2K with 80 milliseconds, but you get the point, right?
I got you.
You got a 78 damage, 68 damage I-14 punish that does like all the guard damage on hit in the world, and it will close out the round for you. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And it works off a back throw, which is also really important because everyone's going to be breaking front throws, and so that's where you get mileage. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the other thing being that he has a lethal hit on this move on any whiff move at all. So like if I do this and you try to like, if I do this right and you like AA, it'll go under your AA. So go ahead. I'm gonna like have you block and then AA. Okay.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah. So that will lethal hit, and it will also tech crouch. So even if they do a high, it'll tech crouch the hide and will lethal hit them. You know what I mean?
That's really nice.
And allow you, it'll allow you to gain more meter, and it's really important because like if you need damage and you need lethal hits and you need meter, it does all that right here in rage. Which will go into Soul Charge now because we're about to get the Rage Explosion. So in Soul Charge, Haohmaru gets some pretty fucked up moves. The most important one is going to be... Remember how we talked about how he doesn't have like a good I-16 punish, kind of like Cervantes?
Right.
So he gets this move. I showed you this earlier, right? This is I-16.
That's a lot.
It's I-16, and it reaches from right here. So like a move like Zasalamel 4B plus K, you know, which like pushes you back so far that characters can't punish it. He can punish that move with that. It's really powerful. And the other important part being that this is a Ronin cancel move. So I can do stuff like that. I can do stuff like this. At I-14, you know, all my block punishment gets better because I can cancel into that move and get heavy slashes. You know what I mean?
That's nuts.
Yeah. So like every time you take a risk against him, like, okay. But yeah, it's really good. Other important things is that like his AA gets better. Normally when characters go into Soul Charge and they get like an AA extension, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, so what if Huang gets like Soul Charge AAB and the third hit's a break attack? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you can GI the third hit of his, right? Like you can resist impact. But with Haohmaru's you can't, and it does this. So it does a heavy slash on block, and it does a good amount of damage. So like if I do this to you, go ahead and get hit, and then like block. So I hit you, and then I did 14% guard damage also while hitting you, and I'm like -8, but you're like all the way out there. You know what I mean?
Right. That's really nice. Wow.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that they're disrespecting you after AA. So like they're like an I-10 character, for example, right? They get hit by all this, and then you get a mix-up afterwards, or you can like do a lot of damage on AABB. And I think that if you have to apply guard damage, this is a really good way because they cannot not block it. They can't GI this. You cannot GI this on hit. You can try if you want, but you cannot do that.
So on hit, you're saying, okay.
Yeah, on hit, it's just not doable.
No, you're right. You're right. It's jails.
Yep. So yeah, you get that good guard damage on hit, and that's really good.
Which is a big problem with the Soul Calibur community. I want to throw out, like, if you're getting hit with an AA or a BB, like, don't try to GI the third hit. Just you're minus 1,000 usually. Don't.
Yeah, just know that if you're going to like GI a third hit of a Soul Charge ABB string, just go on the lab first. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's better to disrespect them and block anyways.
Right.
So.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
But yeah, he gets AABB. He gets 623 A plus B, which is a really good move. He gets an extension on the shoulder tackle move that we talked about earlier, right?
Right.
So it gets a third. It gets 3 hits, 2 more hits to it, dealing 52, and it forces the opponent in crouch at +4. Which is really nice, but it's mostly because like you might have trouble counter hit confirming like this, right? So you can do this, and it's really simple. It's not that bad if they GI it, and like if you're like me, sometimes with punishing people online can be really rough,
right?
Because you want to do this, right? You want to do the optimal shit.
For sure.
This is optimal, okay? It's 82 damage, but if you block this, I'm fucking minus 28 on block.
So it's a big dick move.
Yeah, it's a really fucking huge amount of risk if you fuck it up, okay?
Yeah.
But this is completely safe. It doesn't jail whatever, but if you block the whole thing, I do chip, and you take like 15%, right? 18%, which is pretty good.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I don't have to finish the string ever. You know, so if you're like, oh, I'll just GI the last hit, right? And then you get launched for trying to GI, it's a pretty simple extension. It's not like a whole big deal, nothing that we have to go over.
That's pretty dope, okay.
Yeah, the main thing is that Haohmaru's heavy slashes, when you block them, you know how there's that like reverse mix-up or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Block real quick? It's not there anymore. It's civilian. Yeah, and look at the chip damage.
I never noticed that. Wow.
Yeah, so
I like that.
When he's in soul charge, you just get fucked up by heavy slashes, right? And so like that, like remember how we talked about like the low throw, like mid Oki? There's no reverse mix up on it anymore, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like I can do this and you have to hold that, bro. You can't GI the second hit. It's -8 and pushes you out.
Crazy.
You can't catch me. If you got hit, I'm sorry, bro. You just lost like a lot of life. You know what I mean? So block. Don't block real quick. Yeah, that does 70 damage, dude.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah, this does like 73. This does 69, but I get like tech chasing Oki, right? Where I chase you and chase your Yakemi. And the other important part being that moves like this get enhanced with their lethal hits. So
right.
Can you do Dread Charge A plus B? So that'll do more damage.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then go ahead and walk up and throw me. That gets better. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yep. The condition being for this one to be going
high, right?
Yeah, no, just going under throw. This is some whiff punish throws. Normally you just get that, you know what I mean? But if the extension, you get that right there. So that's pretty nice. And on this one, you block punish at 22 frames or more. So that's pretty neat. The other part being like the heavy slash gets armor. So like if you were to like I don't know, try and keep me out with like 6k or something, right? I'll do like this. You'll do 6k.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you have to hold it. You know what I mean? And some moves, they just get hit, and I get the full damage. So there's really not much else to like his soul charge. That's like the main things. Aside from the one thing I haven't gone over yet because it's really messed up, and then once I tell people, they're gonna be like, "Holy crap, nerf Haohmaru." You get this move. So like when you see this move, you're not like too worried about it, right?
Right.
This is like punishable. This is minus 14 on block.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm gonna go on Soul Charge.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is now 0 on block, dude. This is 0 on block. This is a break attack, like on the Quake. The first hit is not a break attack, which is really important to know.
Yeah.
So if you have reactions, you can GI this. You cannot reverse ledge it, but you can GI it.
You have to do that.
Right.
You have no choice. Wow. That's
Yeah, you have to. You have to GI it, right?
Ooh.
And the other important part being is that this is really big. It tracks really well. It jumps fucking mids. And block real quick. It does 18 chip damage.
That's crazy. Wow.
And I can cancel into it. You know what I mean? So like I can just do this all day to you and chip you down. So like let's just put you where you're not gonna recover health, real quick. Just block. Let's say this is like a normal fucking game. You know what I mean? This is a normal ass game.
That's fair.
Yeah, you just look at all that.
Oh
Look at all that chip.
God.
Yeah, it just chips you out and it does so much guard damage. You know what I mean? Like it's really good for that. It's really good for that reason. Your opponent can no longer just block you out, right? You have options to open them up because if they continue to block, eventually their guard's gonna break, and they might die, or they'll get chipped out so low that like one hit next time will kill them. You know what I mean?
But then they'll start moving like this, and then you'll start busting them out with the H.
Yeah, you'll bust them out with the horizontals, right? It all completes his game plan. So it makes his soul charge pretty good. And another thing that makes his soul charge pretty good is that stuff like this is even better on hit, right?
Right.
So like if I hit you with this, you know, and
Okay.
you don't Ukemi, I get like 1K. But go ahead and Ukemi real quick.
Okay. No.
Yeah, that catches all directions
That's nice.
on every single character in the game. So this is 6xB. And remember how we talked about how like Haohmaru is unique, where he can only do things on hit or block?
Right.
Yeah, don't tech now, okay?
Okay.
Nothing comes out.
Right. Okay.
Yep, but I can still buffer the input, you know what I mean? So
you
see how I hit
lose nothing.
6xB? Yeah,
Okay.
see my inputs?
Yeah.
I hit the button, but nothing came out because of the way the character is designed. So this is like an option select, you know what I mean? I can go for the tech trap, and then if I end up whiffing the tech trap option, you cannot punish me.
That
But
is
if you
super
tech
cheap.
into it, if you tech into it, I still get the hit, and I still get the damage.
That's really nice. That's really
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Things that are unique to this character that are really, really good. So now we'll just get into the biggest aspect that probably people really love about this character that I really love about this character. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Rage Explosion. This is the shit. This is that terrifying shit right here.
Right.
All right, so he only gets this one time a game, okay? And because he only gets it one time a game, do you remember how last patch, like the very last patch, right? They nerfed soul charge damage.
Right.
So everyone used to do 110% damage in soul charge. That number has been nerfed down to like 105, 104, right? Haohmaru does 120% damage in soul charge when he's in Rage Explosion.
That's crazy. Wow.
So shit like this does like
my God.
94. I'm just gonna change it to counter hit just so I can show you an example. If you manage to get counter hit by 928, you get half life. You know, like he shits out damage in Rage Explosion, which is it's really important because you need to use this to come back on people. He gets you remember the extension I showed you on the really garbage move like that one? Yeah, this becomes pretty good now. So like my I-18 punish does this now. Does 82, right? This still lethal hits, you know what I mean? Like all my moves just like are way better. Like everything just does so much. And like go ahead and block again. It's still 17 chip. You know what I mean? That doesn't change. This doesn't change when you go into guts either. So I'm still doing 18 chip damage when you're in guts, right? And you don't want to get guard broken, right?
Right.
Because then I just kill you with Issen, and that's like probably the most. That's like the second most important thing, right?
Right.
Before we get to Issen, remember how there's like the warrior focus mix up? We didn't really talk about it, but it's pretty simple. There's a low, and there's a mid, right? With the warrior focus mix up being the low and a mid, you know what I mean? If you know that the mid is loaded in the warrior focus mix up, you might not be like too worried, right? And you don't want to duck, right?
Right.
Because you don't want to eat like a whole lot of damage, like from like a combo like this, right?
Right.
For example. Now you can open them up because he has an uncheckable 70 damage throw that has, the 18. Yeah, it's uncheckable, and I get a force block, dude. Right? So like, you might be able to GI this on Wake Up. You can GI this on Wake Up, but there's a risk because obviously if you whiff a GI, like, you're gonna get Issen. You know what I mean? So you get the 70 damage plus the 18 damage on the chip after the throw hit them, and you're plus 0, and you could potentially guard break them. You know what I mean? Which is checkmate, right? So you can open them up more with your stance. They might react and they might duck. If they duck, you're dead. You know, I mean, GG, bro. All right, first 2, let's go. But yeah, that's really nice. And then obviously the most important part that everyone wants to know about is Issen. We'll talk about the different aspects of Issen real quick before I talk about the move itself.
And real quick, I think it'd be a good point to just pause for a sec. So everybody in the stream, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, what's up, Brass Talk? If you guys have questions, stuck in and ready. I want Florida Man to finish his thoughts and finish all his explanations on the character, but then we're going to start addressing questions in the chat. Raz Talk looks like it'll be the first one. I'll get to yours in a few minutes, bud. Thank you. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so talking about Rage Explosion, right? In order to enter Rage Explosion, you have to be in Rage. So that's usually like when you hit the 30% health mark, which I'll just show you right now. I love you too. So yeah, I'm in 30%. You know what I mean? Now I entered Rage. In order to do this, you hold the Sword Charge input down, right? This functions like a normal Soul Charge, okay? And now, if we're going to talk about frame data for a brief moment, Backstep is minus 15, but like for all intents and purposes, it's minus 14, right? You know that, right?
Right.
Okay, I want you to backstep right now after you block my soul charge, okay?
Okay.
Nope.
You can't move. You can't move.
Nope. You can't move, okay? So there's that risk right there. That's really important to remember. He can enforce frame advantage when you block my soul charge, bro. Okay?
That's crazy. Wow.
Hey, you want to know what else? Let's say you're scared, right? I'm in Rage Explosion, right? You're like, oh, dude, get off me, right? You soul charge, right? And I block your soul charge. So go ahead and do that.
So
go ahead.
I'm gonna you're gonna soul charge?
No, you're gonna soul charge. You are. All right, you can't move. Like, it just reaches so far. So I'm gonna show you exactly how far Rage Explosion like Issen reaches. Okay, are you ready?
Wow, full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like my turn's over, even though I'm in soul charge. Wow, that's nuts.
Yep. You have to respect him at all times when he is in Rage Explosion because Issen is a I-14 mid horizontal. It does less damage depending on the soul charge timer. So I'll just set it to not be always max. So like right here, you see the check marks on the soul charge?
Right.
All right, so right about here, it'll do the full damage at 99, 98, whatever. And then right here, it dips down a little bit. I think like right on that Rage Explosion. Yeah, it'll dip down to 86.
Okay. So it's at its best when it just started. Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's at its best when it just started, which is like why if your opponent has never labbed Haohmaru and they're like, fuck, I'm scared, I'm going to backstep, and you just Issen them, you know what I mean? Like, you get the full damage right away, which is really important. If your opponent decides to try and kill you with 2k, you know what I mean? Like, go ahead and 2k me. Yeah, it's just like lightning fast at I-14. If they did a move that's like minus 14, but it leaves them like right here, you're still getting hit. You know what I mean? It's so scary. Like, because the original game plan of the character doesn't change. It just becomes like even better by like 2 times better. You know what I mean? Like you can't move, you have to guess, you can't whiff, you can't be punishable. It's scary, dude. You have to like outlive this fucking soul charge. You know what I mean? But it can be fucked up. So like if I lose, if you block real quick, right? Minus 26.
Okay.
Yeah, it's death on block, dude. So you can fuck up, right? And now let's say I use this early. This isn't like the last round of the game, and you win this round.
Right.
I no longer have rage, right? Which is like, it's really important that I have like rage and stuff, right? Because then I get like my extra moves, I get more damage on my throws. You know what I mean? I have comeback potential. I no longer have that.
So don't use this round 1, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Never use this round 1. You want to save this as like a backup card. You know what I mean? Because once you lose rage explosion, you lose comeback potential.
Okay, I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have your soul charge and everything. You just don't have rage explosion anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I will say is that after you get hit by Issen, remember that force block we talked about earlier?
Yeah. Oh,
so there.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, dude, this character.
That's really good, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover before I started taking questions?
No, I'll just take questions now. I think I went over everything. He's a really simple character, you know what I mean? Like, the past this point, it's just up to the people who want to learn to play him to, like, go over his frame data and be like, okay, well, this is, like, +6, you know, like, you can't sidestep.
Right.
Stuff like that. That's stuff like that I can't go over in, like, an hour, you know what I mean?
Of course, and this is just to really get, just dip people's toe in the water, get them a little interested in the character, how to beat them. Actually, you know what? We didn't get to that. I'm an imbecile. I skipped an important part. How do you beat Haohmaru?
Yeah. Okay, so so this is a little different. A lot of people who are new to playing against Haohmaru are gonna say something really simple, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the worst piece of advice that you'll ever receive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The initial impression you'll get is, oh, dude, just backstep, bro. He can't hit you. Yeah, nah, bro. I'm still gonna hit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if you want to beat Haohmaru, number 1 is that you have to know a couple things. Okay. You have to know that this is +0 on hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to know this is +0 on block, and this is plus on block and a warrior focus. Okay.
Okay.
And your way to interrupt this is by using an I-12. But if you use your I-12 Horizon K to a Cervantes is the only exception, but
oh, that's nice. I see what you're trying to do. Okay.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
You get punished. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Okay.
Like he can set up the +0 frame advantage to always punish you. So if you try to challenge him, he just moves out of there. You know what I mean? And so the way to beat him is by playing incredibly safe, and by mixing him up. Of course, there's the risk that you take as your character, whoever your character is. If your character is like Cervantes and you have a basic throw mid low game plan,
right?
Just use it because it's effectively good against him. You know what I mean? Because if you can set this up with brawling, for example, so your Servi, right?
Right.
You do 3k a6, right? Do that real quick. I can't do anything about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you set up your frame advantage so that I cannot move out of the way. And you have to lab this with your character. So you set up your frame advantage so that I can't move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other problem being I can't brawl you either because I'm too slow. So I have to always take a defensive option. If you can weigh the risk reward in your favor so that your offense is better than my defensive reward, you'll start beating the character more often.
So you think
the other part,
you think it's the opposite. You think instead of people just trying to turtle him, you think people should rush him down, maybe?
Yeah, you should definitely rush this character down. You should rush this character down and set it up so that you're not disrespecting him overly and trying to move away from him when you have frame disadvantage. If you're at frame disadvantage, or if you're turtling, this character will fuck your life up. Okay? He will fuck your life up so much. That will keep you out. He'll grab you. He'll counter hit you, with his counter hit tools like 4B and 623A. Even an example, Nightmare can't armor this move, dude. It's an I-18 horizontal high, and I'm always +6, right? You're getting hit, you know what I mean? So trying to disrespect him and do stuff like that it can work for you, but you have to understand what you're trying to disrespect, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good advice. All right.
Yep.
So that covered that pretty well. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get to Raztalk's question.
Yeah.
I think we kind of covered this already, but if you did want to go over it, we have the time. I'll make the time for it. His question was, how do you approach neutral as this character? That's my biggest problem I have when I'm playing.
Haohmaru neutral is a little awkward because basically he doesn't play close range neutral. His neutral game exists in the mid long range. So generally speaking, I never approach this range unless I'm going to hit my opponent or keep them out or mix them up, right? So with neutral game, I use my pokes and I play footsies. You know what I mean? I contest their movement. I use my plus frames to counter hit them. But generally speaking, I just keep them out all day. If they're a character where I can't keep them out all day and they're like Ivy or something, my neutral game changes, of course, because it's a different matchup. But I have to be satiated with my mid-range neutral tools.
Okay.
Because they all reach right here, right? Like 6B. This is why I brought these like 3-4 moves up, right?
Right.
They all reach right here. You know what I mean? Like they all reach right in that range, and that's exactly the sweet spot that you want to be in.
Okay.
And you want to be in this range and play it so that they can't do anything about the moves that you're using. If they are a character that can do stuff about the moves that you're using, then you have to adjust your game plan accordingly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think.
Yeah, no problem. I hope that addresses the question.
So I kind of had one. So what do you feel are a couple of, without numbers? I mean, if you want to include numbers, you can. This is your opinion. This is your time.
Yeah.
What do you feel are good and bad matchups for him? Like a couple of each, maybe.
Yeah, I released the matchup chart not too long ago, but I feel like if we're going to talk about good and bad matchups, I can just summarize it in a couple sentences.
Sure.
But Haohmaru excels if you have A, weak frame advantage, B, you have not a lot of range, or C, you don't do a lot of damage at all, right? Generally speaking, characters will fit into one of these three categories. One, they have a lot of range, right? But they don't do a lot of damage. Or they have a lot of range, but they have low frame advantage, right? One or the other, right? Or they have no range, but they do amazing damage. You know what I mean? Or they have low range and they have good frame advantage, but they don't do damage. They have like some fault to them, right? In one of these three aspects. But if they don't, they're probably a bad matchup for him. So good matchups would be characters like, and only slightly good. They're not like, this character doesn't like 6'4" anyone, right? So like Yoshimitsu and like Zhanghua. Let me just go down the list and like the thingy right here so I can see it real quick.
Go ahead.
But characters like Mitsu, Taki, Zhanghua, Yoshimitsu, Talum, he can zone these characters out, right? And he can keep his frame advantage in a way that he's allowed to move against these characters, and they can't do anything about it yet, right?
Right.
They have to set up airtight Oki and offense on him in order for him to have to play against it, right? Because if they try to do it in the neutral game, he just gets away, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, those characters with those three flaws that they might have, if they are not in one of those categories, but instead they have a lot of range, good damage, good frame advantage, but they can even have like close range brawling, they'll beat him, right? So like Sophie, for example. Sophie has like actually a lot of range,
right.
More than people think. You know what I mean?
For sure.
She has good frame advantage, and she has good block punishment on like small stuff. You know what I mean? And Haohmaru can be played in such a way where you can make yourself minutely punishable, but you're still taking an enormous fucking risk. You know what I mean?
Right. Of course.
Versus someone like Sophie, right? Or a character that has more range than Haohmaru, like Nightmare, who I personally think is a bad matchup for him. This is debatable because there's 3 Haohmaru players in the world. But
I mean, honestly, it's your opinion. No, every player, not all players have to agree on opinions. Like
exactly.
The art of debate think needs to come back into the community. Like people, be able to healthily disagree, and just the world will not burn. Everybody,
exactly. But I think Nightmare is a bad matchup for Haohmaru because A, he has more range than him. B, he does more damage than him. And C, he actually has like more frame advantage than Haohmaru, and he uses it better because he brawls up close better.
And he's better at probably the mid-range game plan, right? Nightmare's mid-range.
Exactly, yeah. He has a more solid mid, long, and close range game plan than Haohmaru. Like I can get in, but dude, it's like I have to play so air fucking tight safe, and like in order to out damage him, I have to make something enormous with, and it's really fucking hard to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Another character that I think Haohmaru wins against is like Astroth, but he doesn't fit in the category where he doesn't have like, low range. He has a good range. He has good damage. He has good frame advantage. But the way Haohmaru destroys him is through manipulating the coin toss, right?
Okay.
Lots of sidestepping, mashing, and using tech crouch moves, which he has to hard guess and get a low reward for. You keep doing that over and over and over, you win out in trades overall. And by a lot, because Haohmaru does a fuck ton of damage. And the other thing being that he doesn't deal with Haohmaru's heavy slashes on block very well. So I can just yeet heavy slashes against Astroth and he can't do anything about it. You know what I mean?
So without going too far, I'm not cutting off. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just pausing for a second. So
yeah, you're good.
Omega had a second question. He wanted you to maybe elaborate. He put Nightmare better close range than Haohmaru with some really, really suspect eyes. So
okay, so like
expand on
I'll expand on it further. Just by showing examples, if I could.
Of course. We're all visual creatures, right?
Yeah, we're all visual creatures. Humans learn through interaction. Okay. All right. So Haohmaru, right? I want to have a mid-range game plan. Okay. You know what deletes a mid-range game plan when you're playing Nightmare is you just AGA people, right? So like you AGA me, I'm like trying to get in, I'm taking all this guard damage, I get knocked down, it becomes very rough, right? So like you get the AGA knockdown, for example, right? Because I fail to get in. Now you step forward, right? Because you have Oki. Even if I tech forward here, now I'm in a mix-up, okay?
Okay.
So you can go for like a crouch, you can go for like flapjack, you can go for a 3k poke, you can go for 2k, you can just step forward and do nothing, and then I wake up in your face, right? And you could like go for a throw, or you could go for 3k and get a safe poke, right? Now, let's say I do the safest thing here. I'm worried about Nightmare flapjacking me. I'm worried about him throwing me. I get 3k'd, right?
Right.
So go ahead and hit me. That's now +6 on hit, okay?
Okay.
I am now -6 against Nightmare, okay? I cannot move. Everything will kill my movement. AGA will kill my movement. Nightmare's no move, K6, that's going to kill my movement. His 3k, in a 3k, it'll kill my backstep,
What
right?
What about your first of all, Huda, thank you very much for the description, brother. I appreciate it. You're the homie. What about your 2A? You said that was 14, and tech crouch is this.
My 2A is I12, but like even though it will tech crouch his 6k, if I hit into his armor, right? So like, let's say you have big soul edge energy, right? And you do 6B at +6 because it's I16, for example, right?
Okay.
So you're gonna hit me. You're gonna hit me with 3k, and then you're gonna do 6B. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that. Now I have to deal with the armor, right? Okay. And he doesn't. Haohmaru does not deal with he doesn't deal with Nightmare's armor very well because of the way he's designed, right? So like normal characters, they have to go ahead and block real quick. They have to deal with this stuff, right?
Right.
Like they have to deal with like all this, right? If I want to keep you out, which is the main objective of using my Ronin cancel moves
right.
You just armor them, okay? So like, let's say I try to disrespect you by using 2B. This is a good move because it tech crouches. And I can just go into it and crouch, right? So you do 3k, and then you do k6, right? That's gonna catch my sidestep. So do 3k, k6, or something like that. You want to do k6, like it's a slight input.
Oh, 6. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tech crouch the move, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh damn, man! Nightmare doesn't have any way to catch sidestep, man. And it's step duck, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
Bam. You mash 6B here. So 3k me, 6B.
Okay.
Can't do shit.
Terrible. Oh, man.
Can't do shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I can't really deal with the armor very well, and then my reward for beating Nightmare out in brawling him up close is so minutely small that I should just like try to mix him and go for like a heavy slash or a throw. And in order to do that, I have to get Nightmare to respect me, but he never has a reason to respect me.
Really
Does that make sense?
That's
why I think it's a bad matchup, even up close. it's so hard to get the character to respect you and do anything about it until he hits like, like this life range. Then then I can finally do shit, and he can't armor it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Go ahead and get night charge real quick.
How do I do that?
6-8.
There you go. Cool.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. So you're gonna block, and then you're gonna do KB. Okay, and like just K and then B. Yeah. So that's his 14 frame punish on heavy slashes, and that's really important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he deals with the situation better than some other characters, and especially if I want to use this to try and like mix you up close, it just makes it like kind of threatening. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's good and it's bad versus different characters, which is why like I use it to a varying degree depending on the matchup. And versus Nightmare, it's not even like that good of an idea unless they just don't know how to deal with it, right? Because then it's just on them. So again, they have no reason to respect me. All their options up close have a higher reward than me, and if they choose to like use 6K when I'm plus, so like if I hit you with this, right?
Right.
I do this because it kills armor, it kills sidestep, and you do 6K. So go ahead and do go into night terror charge real quick. Yeah, then you're gonna do 6K after I hit you with the AA, okay?
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
6K.
So see that?
Okay.
Yeah, 6K. That move right there. So go on night terror charge. You don't want to do 6K. You want to do 6K.
Yeah, I'm doing it. 6K. Oh, 6K. Okay.
Yeah, that move right there.
Okay, go ahead. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, you just yeeted a tech crouching I-16 move when I'm +6, and now I'm gonna eat like 80, 90 damage, right? Because you chose to do a tech crouching I-16 move. That's really fucking hard to deal with when I have all these other things going on that are even more stressful to deal with, right? Because I have to use like 2A or like 2B, right? In order to deal with that move specifically.
Right.
And the armor and still be safe, right? Now, if I go to 2AU when I'm +6 and you GI me, you get a level 3 GI. And now I have to feed into Nightmare's GI game plan, which is AGA, A plus B, 4A, which all do like good damage or give him night terror charge, give him meter. And again, I'm in a losing trade here because like this is even more risky than me just trying to poke him and like establish any kind of frame advantage. So that's basically the summary of why I think it is a bad matchup. Yeah.
That's
it is a good matchup when they don't know how to deal with this shit right here. That's on players though.
So Omega was kind of asking some. Thank you for Seiken Mayo with the Mato. Sorry, with the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you all for joining. We are opening this to questions. We have time. It's Friday night. So Florida Man is kind enough and generous enough to show us some really filthy, diseased tech with Haohmaru that I was not aware of. Because I think this community has done a really bad job of downplaying him to where he's like low on everybody's list, which I don't understand. So he's really showing us a lot of tech. Omega was asking if you could play close Haohmaru in some matchups. Is there a matchup you could play close or not really?
Close Haohmaru is able to be played in some matchups. It's just kind of like to a varying degree. So one of the matchups that you can play close Haohmaru in, and that you're just kind of forced to because that's all you can do, is you can play it in the Ivy matchup. The Ivy matchup is kind of hard because of the way her toolkit works. You know what I mean? So she has like all these like good mid-range tools that reach like I can like visualize where it is, but like right around like right here, right? So low grab will hit me right here. 6A will hit me right here. 4B will push me out. The two people's K is a mix-up. So playing mid-range against her is like so fucking terrifying.
Right.
And I just get hit and get pushed out, right? And Haohmaru is a Shoto zoner, so he's supposed to zone you.
Okay.
And because of that, he doesn't actually have good get-in tools aside from 2-2A. Okay. So what I do is I just get up here, and now her 2A, dude. Her 2A is like I-16, right?
Yeah, it's pretty. No, it's not that good. Yeah.
Yeah. So she can't actually outmatch me at all. She cannot outmatch me at all. Okay. And now she has to guess all the moves I'm gonna do on her, so I can play like close range 6K, 2A, 2B, 2K Haohmaru, and just be ultra safe. And she just has to like eventually push me out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a matchup. Like I think that I can explain it in like a sentence or two. That's close range Haohmaru. Another matchup that I think Haohmaru doesn't do bad in in the close range is Maxi, but that's because Maxi's, like instance. And I'm just gonna show you like a really good example.
Sure.
So like Maxi players know about this, but just do like 4BB. Yeah, there you go. There's why you can play close range against Maxi. A lot of his strings are like able to be deflected for guaranteed damage.
And so for
normally,
people, I'm sorry, for people that don't know, can you go over what you just did? Because I know what it does, but for people that don't know, can you tell us
basically, this is a a total of 4 active frame GI.
Okay.
It's 6 frames. Sorry, it starts on frame 4. That's what I meant to say. It starts on frame 4 and it ends on frame 10, right? And since it's active for 6 frames, he's able to get a level 3 GI from the deflect on mid and high weapon attacks only. With the mid and high weapon attack auto GI, I'm guaranteed a heavy slash lethal hit, and I get plus 12 on the lethal hit, right? It works in the same way that GI does, just 2 frames shorter and 2 frames slower, because GI is 2 to 12, anyways. Yeah, it's 2 to 12. Deflect being 4 to 10. And that if I whiff it, I'm like minus like a whole second, right? You see this whiff, you can like impact counter me, just like normal GI is, right?
Okay.
Because they nerfed that last patch. So it's really good against like plus strings or like characters who want to like press their frame advantage constantly, like Maxi.
Right.
Because if you do like 4BB, you know what I mean? That's plus on block, and like I can't do anything. I get counter hit by like Rat or B here, so like it's fine to like do the first layer and like GI it, right?
Okay.
If you hit me with like do B and then hit A and then hit K. Yeah, so that right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. It's all plus on block stuff. You know what I mean?
So it's not kick. So anything with like weapons related, weapon related string, he can deflect
He can deflect your weapon. Yeah, just like in Samurai Showdown, he can only deflect your weapon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That is.
So that's why he can play close range against Maxi, is because that's where you're gonna fucking be.
For sure. No, that's.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Wow. And that deflect, and I just want to kind of piggyback on top of that. You're 6/6K. You're still plus 6 or plus 8 on that, right?
Yeah. So it changes on hit, like normal hit, and on counter hit. So this functions like a 2A, in that I'm doing like 12, 14 damage, but on 6K I'm plus 6. On block though, it's a lot better. So if you block real quick, I'm -2.
Yeah, I don't think people know how good this move is, because I play Samsho, and even when this game came out and I saw the frame data, I was like, it's a high, it's safe. -2, again, we talked about the last episode. -2 and -3 means I can move. I can move.
It's good because of his footsie game. So like if you block real quick, I'm out.
That's insane.
And I'm only -2. This is like such minute risk, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can't catch me. But that's not why it's necessarily good. It's really good because if I counter hit you with an I-12, I'm fucking plus 10.
That's so good.
Yeah, I'm plus 10 on counter hit.
So after you do deflect and you do the B plus K and the 6/6K, you're plus 6 afterwards, right?
On this, yeah.
A combo.
Yeah, the combo is plus 6, but this only does 2 damage in the combo, so it's just better to take plus 12.
Thank you for that answer. Hudat had a question. What do you use to stop step duck?
Step duck. I don't even need to change characters. All right, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, go ahead and step duck after you get hit. There you go. Plus 6. Basically, you can't step duck Haohmaru. It's not possible if you are managing your frame data correctly. So if I hit you with 2A and you go to move, you get run countered. If I hit you with this move and you go to do anything like side step duck, whatever, right? You get run countered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no time. Wow.
The only time that you are like getting step ducked as Haohmaru is when you're in the neutral game right here and no moves have happened on hit or block yet, right? That makes complete sense. And it makes complete sense that you're getting step duck here by like trying to do 2-2A because it's really good and people are expecting it.
Right.
But if that's the case, you just run up to them and do 6-6B like on the timing of their duck. So like normally, no one's gonna do like this like all the time, right?
Right.
You're not gonna do that. You're gonna do like this, right? And you're gonna commit. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do that. Bam. There you go. That's how. Another reason you do. Not another reason, but another way you deal with it is you just catch them ducking with 6-6B. His game plan does not change because they are step ducking. You just use a different move. You know what I mean? And when you have the frame advantage, they can't step duck anyways.
And if you guys were, I'm not sure if you guys were in the beginning of the episode, but he was actually going over how Haohmaru's moveset is very seemingly low risk.
Yep.
So there's not much. If he misses 66B or misses 66A, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like some characters are really extending themselves for a move. It doesn't seem like Haohmaru's doing that.
Nope.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do we have any more questions for Florida Man? I think he's kind of covered a lot of good information here. While we get that last question, if we have any, you want to tell us about your team? I have the bottom logo on the bottom right for Faustian. Florida Man introduced himself before, but do you want to tell us anything more about your team?
Yeah. So my team's Faustian Esports. We are like Oregon, Washington, Pacific Northwest based. It's me and several other people. We have been around since the beginning of last year, and like overall, it's a really like accepting community. They've supported me even before COVID with like travel to hotels and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Chapter is a really nice guy, and I know him personally, and I knew him before we ever became a sponsor because it's a homebrew group.
That's awesome.
It's just a really supportive group that's helped me get better by providing me with the opportunities that like just now that you're providing me with to help other people, right?
For sure.
Same thing, but I'm on the receiving end. So it's just helped me get better as a player and like have like methodology for doing this kind of stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I like hearing stuff like that. It's very similar to our team. I mean, we just came together because we just play all the time and like, hey, you know what? We want to just kind of show people what we can do and be a team and help the community. And I like hearing about stories like that. That's really cool. Community funded. You know, I dig that.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. How many team members do you have?
God, I had to tab out just to check.
I don't need an exact number. Just, I mean, a guess is fine. I mean, that's cool. No one's gonna hang you, I promise.
Around like 15.
Oh, it's pretty cool. That's a big ass team. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, I definitely want to thank Florida Man again. He will be back. He's going to be my nightmare guy, so it's good that we transitioned to some nightmare questions, and he was the right guy to answer them, which is why I was kind of laughing at the start of the nightmare questions, because he's going to be the nightmare expert. So, Raz Talk says, thank you very much for all the advice. Yes, thank you as well. You hit us with a lot of great knowledge tonight, and I'll leave you with the final word.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching the Way of the Blade series with me and RXF Nori. Try to tune in next time for the Nightmare or whatever guide he does, because these series are designed to help people like you and me in the community who are just trying to learn and get better. Soul Calibur 6, I think, is on sale on Steam right now, so go ahead and buy it if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.